Hey y'all, it is June the 1st. Happy Pride Month. I wanted to go ahead and cover this here video or topic here in this video, and I realized just now how creepy I look, alright? Lurking in the darkness, and how it's oddly appropriate for the content. Alright, this is breaking news, and I thought I would bring it to y'all because I bring y'all the breaking news from out of San Antonio. Lord knows you need to know all the wild, crazy shenanigans, and I would like to hear about your shenanigans up in your city, up in the comments section, alright? And I'll talk about that maybe. Alright, but San Antonio, as far as San Antonio goes, hey, we got some breaking news. Murda, apparently, allegedly, according to Amanda Hernandez, or Henderson, I'm sorry, Murda on the rise in San Antonio. So what are police doing to stop the violent crime? I didn't want to make this too long of a video, but thought I would announce Murda on the rise. And I just wanted to share this with y'all because it did make me laugh. You know, it made me giggle when I read it at first. Check this out. San Antonio overall crime is down in San Antonio. Oh, that sounds pretty good. Except for the most violent one, and that's murder. That doesn't make you feel good, does it? It's like, hey, man, we're thinking about taking a vacation up in San Antonio. They say, how's the crime? The crime's going down, but the murder going up, right? So, you know, if you don't like to get murdered, we analyze crime. See, I'll read a little bit of it. I'm not sure how much we're going to get through it, especially because we're losing daylight, all right? But this is a quote. We analyze crime data in the city every 60 days, UTSA Director of Criminology Dr. Smith said. That sounds, you know, pretty interesting, all right? I'm glad that they're doing that. San Antonio police partnered with the UTSA in April of 2022 to make a 3-year violent crime reduction plan. I'm like slightly curious as to what their so-called crime reduction plan is. Crime reduction plan. Its aim is to lower the number of murders and aggravated assaults and robberies, because aggravated assaults and robberies a lot of times lead to murder. On Wednesday, they shared the most recent numbers from January of 2023 and April 2023. All right, so within it's like 4 months, I guess, if they're including the whole months of January and April. Said aggravated assaults is 11,343, and it actually went down to 9,476 in robberies. It was 530. I'm getting all dyslexic. 538 to 535 in the robberies, and those decreased while murder went 55 to 60. Saw a nearly 10% increase compared to the same time period in 2022. I just wanted to stop. And I know you really can't see my face anymore. It's real creepy. But I wanted to say, you know, I would like for them to continue, obviously, to see if that's more of a trend. Sure, it's a 10% increase. Sure, 10% is a lot, but you're talking about 55 to 60. To me, 55 and 60 are right next to each other, all right? So it sounds kind of run-of-the-mill. I know it's a 10% increase, if you will, in murders. Alright, but I want to see if that, because I have a feeling it is going to keep going up, right? And then one thing that I wanted to bring up, I don't know if you even thought about it, but it's like, maybe y'all don't know about all the other crimes, right? I mean, is that a possibility? Because you come up with like a dead body, and then you kind of figure, man, we think this body got murdered. So you got a murder on your hands, and I figure most times you wind up finding the dead bodies. And you establish that it's murder, but it doesn't necessarily work with robberies. And I guess aggravated assaults. If the police don't find out. And I gotta say, there's been situations in which the police just don't find out. So it does make me wonder, all right, as far as crime being down but murders being up, that really doesn't ring true to me, or however you call it. That doesn't sound right. All right, there's a lot of work to be done. Still, a lot of work to be done, said Dr. Smith. Part of the work includes hotspot policing, and I want to just point this out. I don't want to make this a long video, really. But they call it hotspot policing. They're always doing these contradictory things through the culture and what you're supposed to, the terminology that you're supposed to know, right? So hotspot policing, I've heard of that before. You know what that means? It's where there's all sort of crime at, they get more police officers there. It's called hotspot policing, and at the same time, you have people saying, oh man, they only police certain neighborhoods because they want to keep us down, and they're working for the man. And they say if they're policing these neighborhoods to try and arrest all us, and we didn't do nothing. And then meanwhile, on the other end, they're talking about hotspot policing. It's the same damn thing. In which an officer will be present, like for example, with lights on at a certain location. All right? And I don't know what they mean by lights. Maybe the headlights. I doubt it would be the interior lights, but they didn't really say. And it's almost like they're sitting ducks if it was interior lights just sitting there and everybody knows where they're going to be sitting. All right. But I don't know if it's the headlights or what. Part of the work includes hotspot policing, where we park a car and stuff and turn the lights on. In summer 2023, the plan will look to identify the cause of violence and create solutions. It's one of those things where they'll mention it here in a second. They're going to start programs, or they'll have programs. And they're like, oh man, with these programs, we're really going to make a difference. And certainly there will be differences made. But I would argue not that many differences, because you're focused on programs. You're focused on this and that. And it's good reason for that. We'll talk about that in a second. Why you're so focused on programs, but meanwhile, the answer is very easy. All right. And I'm not an angel or a saint out here, but I'll tell you that it's a lack of morals. And that's why you got so much violence. The cause of violence is the lack of morals and morality. You'll notice that morals really don't mean anything these days, and that's the answer. There's no morality around, and so violence and all that be on an uptick. But see, y'all gonna make programs, and then you're gonna want money. Let's talk about it real quick. I see this as just one of the many steps to try to change the way that we've been dealing with not only violent crime, but areas of need within the community. San Antonio City Manager Eric Walsh said, okay, so what's your ideas? The community, several council members say they want to hear from, they want your input on how to stop these issues. Well, I'm issuing my input right now on YouTube, all right? And you can't hardly see my face. So we're going to finish this real quick. I don't know how long the dang article is. All right. Check this out. Community input. Hey, Ron Nirenberg has something to say. Check this out. Are you planning a community process to get that kind of a first-person data? Asked Mayor Ron Nirenberg, who's a flaming piece of nothing. All right, and God bless him, and I love him. Community input is necessary at every turn, at every juncture, District 6 Councilwoman Melissa Cabello Haverda said. I don't trust people with two damn last names, right? These days, I just don't trust you with two last names. We'll figure out how to do that and incorporate the community element as we move further down the line, said Dr. Smith. It's like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all take forever to start talking about something. One group that said they'll be part of the conversation, a nonprofit, is Big Mama's Safe House. And I just wanted to mention real quick, Big Mama, in the history of I don't know what, has never stopped a violent situation from occurring. Big Mama is not capable of all that. So a Big Mama's safe house is never quite safe, that I can assure you. They said they work to help reduce gun violence in the community. I wonder how. If you involve the community more and get more of the community organizations involved, more of the CVI programs, which is community violence interrupters. Community violence interrupters, okay. It's the lack of morality. You'll have a better chance of lowering those crimes. Well, let's not talk about morals or anything like that. It's a mindset shared by Rise Recovery, and I know in the programs, I'm sure they have mentors and they talk about morals. All right, in their little programs. It's a mindset shared by Rise Recovery CEO, Evita Morin. In addition to an increase in violent crime, we also saw about 3% rise in drug and narcotics cases. And I just want to mention real quick that drugs and narcotics do not cause people to get violent, all right? But I will say, and I think everyone knows, that drugs and narcotics do make it easier for any person to get violent, all right? It eases the situation along. District 5 Councilwoman Terry Castillo released the following statement, and she's going to say all this about stuff, man. I don't even know we have really time to read all what this lady is saying about preventing violent crime. If you wanted to read it, speed read it real quick. I'm just going to scroll through it. All right. But I did want to mention what she says here at the end. In the upcoming 2024 budget, see, there's keywords already. Those are the words that you highlight, and those are the keywords, and they're the only words that ever really matter with this article. In the upcoming 2024 budget of taxpayer money in this so-called democracy in which y'all don't really ask us where this money's about to go. So in that budget, we must ensure that Stand Up SA has the proper funds being a keyword, to scale up our violence prevention efforts at a fraction of the cost of more officers. It's always like that. She's saying not more officers. We're going to take a more holistic approach towards crime prevention. So, i.e., you're not going to have officers there to stop it. You're not going to hire more officers. And I'm talking about big men with muscles. You're not going to hire those big men with muscles. You're going to take a more holistic approach, meaning somebody else is going to show up, and obviously they're not going to be prepared. So one comment said, yeah, right, let's see. Oh, we won't charge any criminals, so our crime wave will be lower. Really? So that was sarcastic from M3254. But I would have to agree, for the most part, it's a morality thing, and these people don't really want to talk about morality because they have a certain agenda that they're trying to push, where they're trying to blur all the lines of morality and stuff like that. They want programs, and those programs get a lot of taxpayer money, and so they're trying to increase their budget. Meanwhile, it's just all about morality, and the fact is that people be murdering people up in San Antonio. You better watch out. It's actually, let's get up out of here, but it's not that much, right? You know, they said 60. They're talking about 4 months. It's maybe like 1 every 2 days. That's not too bad, is it? Alright, well, I'll holler at y'all a little bit later with more Murda updates. It is June. Happy LGBTQ minus month, and we're very proud of these people and all their achievements, to include booty penetration. I'll holla.